Hey everyone, welcome to Gluten Free Habit. Today I'm going to show you how to make these pastel colored chocolate curls. If you've ever seen my video on chocolate curls, you'll see that this video is similar except that we're coloring white chocolate. These pastel colors make them perfect for so many Easter or spring desserts. You can make an assortment of colors like I did here, or just one or two colors to match a particular theme that you might have going. And here's an example of how you can use the chocolate curls. This is my Easter cake, and actually it's good for any spring event or party that you're going to. And best of all, it's gluten-free. There's a link for it at the end of this video just in case you want to check it out. Okay, let's take a look at the ingredients. You'll need some white chocolate. I'm using chips today, some shortening, some gluten-free food coloring that's not water-based. What I'm using today is this gluten-free powdered coloring, a microwaveable bowl for the chocolate, an offset spatula or just something similar that you can spread the chocolate with, a curl making tool, and as you can see I'm just using a putty knife. I think I got this at the hardware department of a Walmart. I love it and it works perfectly for chocolate curls. A clean baking sheet, and a tray or a plate lined with wax paper to hold the finished curls. Start by pouring about 1/4 of your chips into a separate bowl and set that aside for later. To the remaining chips, add in the shortening. Now microwave this at 50% power for 45 seconds. Give it a good stir and check to see how much has melted. This looks like it needs another round in the microwave, so I'll go again at 50% power, 45 seconds. And our goal is not to melt the chocolate completely. In order to re-temper the chocolate, we need to just melt it about 70% of the way, then add in the chips that we set aside, and this will cool it down quickly and bring it back into a tempered state. Retempering the chocolate is important because you'll get a better looking chocolate curl that will hold its shape, and it'll have a nice snap to it when you bite into it, just like chocolate should. I'm going to do one more round at 50% power for 30 seconds this time. These times are not super precise because every microwave is different, so you'll just have to kind of watch it as you go. Okay, this looks great. Most of the chips have melted. I have a few chips remaining in there as you can see. Now it's time to add in those other chips. Now stir these until the chips are fully melted. This can take a few minutes, so be patient with it. You can even just let it sit for a minute so that the chips melt a little bit and then continue stirring. When your chocolate is completely smooth, then you can go ahead and add in the coloring. Remember that your coloring can't be water-based because chocolate and water do not mix. If it does have a water base, it's just going to ruin your chocolate. I'm using these gluten-free powdered colors today and they work really well. As always, the more food coloring you put in, the darker your color will be. I'm going to do mine fairly light today. As you're finishing stirring in your food coloring, take the pan that you're going to be using for your chocolate curls and set it in the fridge just to cool it a little, but only put it in there for about a minute. If you make it too cold, then the chocolate's just going to set up really fast and you won't have time to make the curls. Now set out your chilled pan with the bottom side up and pour your chocolate onto it. Spread the chocolate around the entire surface of the pan. Depending on the size of your pan, it may or may not cover the entire surface. That's okay. The point is that you want to spread your chocolate around to thin it out and to start to cool it down so it will set up. You'll be able to tell easily when the chocolate starts to set up a little bit because it will lose some of its sheen and you'll feel that you're pulling the chocolate a little bit harder across the pan. Just keep on going back and forth, smoothing it out and cooling down the chocolate. I like to let the chocolate sit for a minute or two so it can continue to firm up, and then you want to give it a test. Gently press your finger into the chocolate. You should be able to see a fingerprint but not an indent. As you can see here, my chocolate is not ready. It mushed up, so I need to give it a few more minutes and then I'll check it again. With your scraper at a 45-degree angle, push forward away from yourself and see if the chocolate naturally curls. This looks great, there's our first chocolate curl. Now as you complete the chocolate curls, transfer them carefully over to your plate. Be careful not to handle them a lot because remember the warmth of your hand is going to start to soften them. Then after I get a plate full of these, I'll put them directly into the fridge. I like to make the chocolate curls a few days in advance because I know they're ready and waiting for me and I can just focus on the dessert. Chocolate curls can be a little bit tricky when you're first learning how to do them, so try not to get discouraged. Practice definitely helps. And one of the most important tips I have for you is watch the temperature of the chocolate. If the chocolate is too soft, the curls won't form. If the chocolate gets too cold and sets up too much, it'll become brittle and it'll break apart. But you'll find that right in between those two stages is the perfect point for making your curls. If you think this video was helpful, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next gluten-free habit recipe.